Hey guys, what's going on tonight? Buck Creek here, and today I'm going to show you how to make an effective and very cheap catfish jug. If you don't want to go after catfish with rod and reel, this is another very easy and effective way to do it, even overnight or something of that nature. So the materials you'll need is some jugs, or in this case we have bottles. All of mine are already painted, but in order to paint yours you can use spray paint or regular paint. Just make sure it will adhere to plastic. This Krylon is like a $5 can. You probably get 150, 200 jugs with it, and it will adhere to plastic. Weights, ½ ounce to an ounce. You can go lower, you can go higher. I just got ounce weights since they were on sale over at Gander since they're closing. Hooks, you don't need a massive hook, but this is a pretty good sturdy one. Has a big eye on it so you can get this line through. Not much in the way there. You can get a pretty decent variety of hooks, but as long as they're sturdy, have a pretty good point on them, and a really large eye, you'll be fine. Some line, this is 113-pound line. You can get some that's 80 or 90, you'll be fine. This just happened to be $2. A knife to cut. This is an optional one. You can get a pair of pliers in order to pull your hook in the line. Make sure it's nice and tight. A lighter, and some type of fishing line. Doesn't have to be expensive. This is just 700 yards of 4-pound test I got for like $2 that I use on my brim rods, but it'll help in just a second. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get the camera set up, and I will show you how to make one very easy. First things first, we've got to pick a bottle out. I already have one here. This will be plenty buoyant in order to get some bigger catfish. Put that to the side, grab our line. Now, depending where you are, you can use the amount of line needed. I wouldn't go all the way to the bottom. The bottom third of the water depth that you're trying to fish is probably one of the safer bets. But for me, I'm going to use about 8 feet of line, because it'll go down to about 12 feet in my area. So 8 feet of line is about 2 complete spans of my arms for me. So I'm just going to take it, unravel it, use my arms like wings, and that's how I decide the footage. Once I have my line, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. You can use a smaller knife. This is just the one I happen to have out. And once you're ready to make a nice cut, and that should be fairly good. This line will fray on you very easily, so be prepared for it. And if it does, you can wet the tip in order to make sure it doesn't fray as much while you're about to do this next step. Now, this is made of polymers, and these polymers in the line will burn to a nice edge. So if we burn that here, it's going to make a nice rounded edge that will not fray on you. So that's why I burned the lines. Take it. Should be cool enough now. You're just going to do 2 simple overhand knots. And you can have a little bit of tag in it if you don't want to. That's alright. Doesn't really bother me. You can just cut the excess off and re-burn your knot. I'm doing this all in front of the camera, so it's a little bit more difficult to reach around. That'll hold the bottle in place. Now you're going to want to hold that line, twist around the bottle. So now you have this. You have this very frayed end of line. You're not really going to wet that and get it through one of these hooks hooks or weights very easily. So what you want to do is take your fishing line. You don't need much. Cut some off, and this is the part that's going to be very difficult to see. You're going to take this frayed line, and you can do it right under it or right on it. Take the fishing line, put it around, and you're just going to tie a simple overhand knot. Two very simple overhand knots. Now you want to find the end of the fishing line just tied. Put it through your weight. And you're going to pull through. Same thing with your hook. Just grab a hook, take it, and pull through on it. Now you take this fishing line, you can easily slide it off, and you can use it again, or grab another piece. Now I prefer to use a uni knot in order to tie this. You can use a different knot if you so choose. All you gotta do is take 1 or 2 fingers, wrap these frays in, and I usually give it about 3 twists. I think 3 twists ought to be enough for what I want to do here. This biggest thing is just making sure you get all the pieces in. You can either wet it, since I'm in front of the camera it's a little difficult to do, but cinch it up. Usually I do prefer to wet it. And this is where the pliers come into place. These Gator Mountain pair have these little hook holders here, so you can take it, and really anything will work. Put it in, and you're going to cinch it down as much as you can. Probably wasn't the safest thing to do there. So that's nice and tight. Take this excess thread, and you just cut it off. And now, for some weights you may have to do an overhand knot over the top of the weight. However, for this one, you can just do a knot under it, and that'll hold it, since the opening's not too big. And just set it a little bit above your line. That'll be fine. And now that weight's not going to slide down past that point. Open your bottle. Just wrap that line around it. And this is the nice part because it's very easy to store. Take your hook, set it in. Take your weight. Just put the top of the weight in. That way don't get too much line in. Turn the bottle and you're ready to go. All you have to do is open the bottle, take the hook out, bait it, close the cap, and you can throw it in. Anyway guys, that's how you pretty much make a very cheap and effective bottle. Probably could have done a little bit easier if the camera wasn't right in front of my working station, but that's how it works sometimes. I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Also add me on social media. If you have any other questions that you'd like to ask me personally, I promise to get back to you. That's it for me. Hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching.